Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Oh, we should have done that. Sorry.
Try it again. Take two.
Okay, ready?
Good morning.
morning. Good morning. Yeah, no, sorry. We'll practice that. Welcome to BCB Transport. This is our portion of the show where we do just for our drivers. It's a little more personal. We can share a lot more on here. I am joined today by our Director of HR, Miss Shelley Brown, and then the wonderful Miss Kendra. I know y'all are very excited about that. I'm hoping we have lots of viewers today. I sent it out on a fleet message, and that was the first time to do it myself. So
Good
if
job.
somebody could confirm that it actually went out and you received it, I would appreciate that, because if not, I need to go back to Scott and get some more direction on that. Before we jump into anything else, I will let Dylan take over and talk about safety. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. Just kind of getting ready again. Sorry, I had to wait for the camera to turn, so it's not weird. I'm getting ready for the 2 shows today and everything. But we're at 7 days of no DOT reportable accidents. We've hit the week.
Yay.
We're on our way out, and we are also at 46 days of getting
Wow.
out and
I
working.
like
So great
it.
job.
Yay.
Yes,
I
it
like it,
continues
like it.
to go up, go up, go up. So great job, guys, and keep up the good work. Really impressive.
Yes, please keep doing that. It's
Keep
one
it
day at a
up.
time, and we will get there. You know, I know we had to reset, but again, we just start over. Nothing's going to keep us down. We will keep going for that record. I know, I have faith. We will beat that eventually, but keep up the good work. So how are y'all?
Good.
Yeah, how was y'all's weekend?
Good. Busy.
Anything exciting?
Yes, we
Yeah.
had our carrier conference, so we had a lot of people in our backyard. Got to meet a lot of new people, friendly faces.
It was a lot of fun.
It was.
That was a good time.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was
for
an
sure.
all day. I mean, you know, you feel like, did we have a weekend? Because
Right?
there was no, where was the day of rest? So we had fall festival at our church, and I love seeing the little ones in their little costumes, like the little babies that look like a bumblebee or a dinosaur. Or, oh my gosh.
I know. Does it make you miss the days of having to do that with your kids?
It does.
I
Getting
know.
them all.
I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I miss it, but then I don't miss like being stressed out, having to find a costume that's, you know, not $50 for each kid, and then not knowing, do I get the fleece one because is it going to be cold, or do we go
Oh,
with shorts because it's going to be
100%.
hot? You
Yeah.
know,
You
there's
never
all of that.
know
You
in
have no
Texas.
idea. But it is fun. But I kept getting more sad as the kids got older, because I just feel like Halloween and trick-or-treating isn't the same as it was when we were kids.
No, not at all.
You know, like when we were kids, there was millions of children everywhere. You went to you had to go home
your-
and like drop candy off because you had so much.
And your parents never went with you.
No, all the
it
kids
was
just went together.
like your parents just put you out the door and you just
Yeah.
hopefully came home.
Yes.
But I mean, now we're like all looking in their butt.
Yes.
What did you
What did you
get?
get? What did you get? Yeah. Well, and we could have been like dying, suffocating on the side of the road from wearing those plastic masks
Masks.
that
Oh,
barely
yeah.
had like 2 little holes in the nostrils. I mean, you know, and then just the plastic on top. Like, those were our costumes. Kmart special. Like, but that's what everybody wore. I mean,
So true.
and now it's like, oh my gosh, if you're not over the top fairy princess,
Oh,
it's not enough.
That's not.
And
in our
you're
house.
still in that phase. You've
We
got
are.
the boys.
I have boys, so it's not the same. I feel like, but it's 100%. Like, I went to Walmart in the beginning of September. Like, I paid
See,
the
like
15
2
bucks
months
for
early.
the.
That's crazy.
There's nothing left now.
There's
Nothing.
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 If you wait until October, it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh my
And I'm not. And then you
gosh.
end up spending $50 like I did last year on
Yes.
Amazon. Because
Or you have to make your own. I remember one year
Oh.
Riley decided at the last minute she wanted to be Smurfette. But this was like a week before Halloween. Okay. I couldn't find a costume anywhere. So I was like, I guess we're going to make one. I have 8th grade home ec sewing skills. Like,
More than I have.
That was a while back. I was like, what am I going to do? So I go to, I think it was Hobby Lobby, and just bought like white felt, just a bunch of it, put it over her, basically like cut out the neck and sewed the sides together. So it was just kind of a smock.
Oh my God,
And then
love
the
it.
hat, like I just cut out like a a hat that was shaped that way as much as I could. Did 2 sides, sewed it together, and then stuffed some newspaper in there.
That's so much better than I would have
We
done.
found her a long sleeve blue shirt. I painted her whole face like blue. And then I did find a blonde wig. So it was like the ugliest blonde you've ever seen. I mean, like yellow wig. I'll have to find the picture.
Seems pretty Smurfy to me.
I know. But yeah, I was like, nobody look too closely at that because. But you do what you gotta do,
pretty
right?
good.
I mean, for your kids.
That's pretty good.
It's
Speaking
funny
of,
that she knows who the Smurfs are.
it was when, remember how they like did the remake and the movie came back out?
right.
That was when it was. Yep. So speaking of kids in costumes, you mentioned the festival at your church. I know I kept talking last week about the one here in Mansfield. So Brent and I did go. It would have been perfect for when the kids were smaller because they just had like fun little games and food and everything. Brent did indulge my mama side though, and he took a picture in the firefighter thing. And I was like, Brent, it looks very realistic.
That is very cute.
Yeah, so he did do that for me. Mansfield Fire was out there, and then here are the armadillos. So sadly, if they did race them, by the time we got there, they weren't racing. I have a good idea of who would have won. There were only 2 of them, as you can see. One, I think, gets a little more activity in, and the other does not.
Just hiding in the
yes,
corner.
I'm pretty sure the one on the right is the one that would have won the race. And you could tell because that one just kept going in circles around the little pin, and the other one was just hiding in a corner. Like he would go to the corner and just sit, and then the other one would go over there and like jump on him and try to move him, and the other one would not.
He
move.
wasn't having
Like,
it.
he was
Get
like,
off me.
I'm minding
Leave me
my own
alone."
business. Leave me alone right here. And the other one actually kept trying to escape. He kept going to each corner, and there would be like a half an inch little hole, and he was like sticking his little is it a snout? Like
think
I don't
it's a
know what
snout.
armadillos have.
I don't
snout?
know.
I don't know. Whatever his
Thing
breathing holes are, like sticking them in the corner.
It's a nose.
It's a nose. It's a something. But it was really fun. Like I do love that even though Mansfield is growing, they still try to do those hometown things.
Yes.
And there was a really good turnout. Brent and I had some funnel cake, so that was the highlight of
Yum.
it.
Oh, I'm
it
so
was really
jealous.
good,
Yum.
even though it was warm out there. But it was a good time. I'm really glad that we went.
That's
So
awesome.
it made me miss the kids being little and kind of doing. I kept trying to ask Brent if he wanted face painting, but and then he
took
did
the
say,
picture.
"I know." He's like, "If you really want me to."
Or a tattoo. You want to get a fake tattoo.
Exactly. So that was a good time. I'm glad we went. For anyone, if your hometowns do things like that, try and get out there if you can. I know it's a little harder when you're over the road, but tell your family, tell them to take the little ones, especially now that the holidays are coming. I know they'll have more and more things. We'll have Christmas ones going on in Mansfield. So we'll mention that here whenever we have more information, so that way if anybody can get out this way, we will do that. Speaking of announcements, I will quit speaking now, and I'm going to turn it over to Miss Shelley and let her take over.
Well, I want this to be saved after our anniversaries and
okay.
birthdays because it's that big a deal.
It is a big deal. Hopefully, we've got lots of people listening. So then I will jump in. I do want to mention benefits again. I know I mentioned them last week. Make sure you are putting it on the calendar. Our benefits week is going to be November 14th through November 22nd. So last week I had said the 15th. We're actually going to open it up on Sunday, so that'll be the 14th, and it'll go to the following Monday. So you will have that whole week. We will send out more information as soon as we have it. We are finalizing things right now. We'll get that out so you can be reviewing it, look at anything, decide what you want to do. That way, when it does open up, you can get on earlier in the week instead of waiting till the end of the week. Of course, it's your choice when you want to do it. I know sometimes it's harder. You want to wait till you get home, discuss it with the spouse. But the longer you wait, the harder it might be able to get in contact with us if you have questions. Of course, leave us a message. We will always return those. Don't worry that you won't get your answers. It might just take us a little bit longer to get back to you if everyone's waiting till the end. So review it when you have that information. That way you're ready to go when it is open enrollment. But again, those dates will be November 14th to November 22nd. So with that, do we need a drum roll?
Drum roll.
Well, first, as you guys know, we were nominated for the best fleets to drive for, and we are very excited about that. We thank you. That is a competition that we have to be nominated by our drivers in order to be nominated. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you. As with last year, there is a survey that we do have to have the participation for, and we'll be sending that out in the coming weeks as soon as they send it over to us. So that's really exciting. We want to thank you guys as well. However, we also got the information we've known for a little bit, but we couldn't announce it until today. And that is that we have been named a 2021 top company for women to work for in transportation.
Yay! Go us! Go BCB! I love that.
Wow.
It's really exciting. We do have a lot of women in leadership within this company, as well as tons of women drivers that we are so appreciated, or you're so appreciated.
Yes.
They actually have the competition. This is the 4th year that they've done it, and the votes to be recognized for this, they had over 14,000 votes to identify that final list.
Wow.
So it's kind of a big deal.
It is. I mean, that's so
huge
exciting
deal.
because I think most people, when they think of trucking, just automatically think men because your grandpa drove or your dad. And women really are putting their foot in that industry and showing like, hey, we can do it too. We can get the job done. And they are getting the job done. We love our women drivers.
Yes, we do.
Love them.
Well, and what's interesting is this particular company, or association, I'm sorry, is Women in Trucking. They actually promote gender diversity and education out in the transportation industry regarding, issues faced by our drivers that just happen to be women. So we love that organization. We are a corporate member for in Women in Trucking, and so we're also really super excited that they are recognizing us as a top company. We will also be recognized more formally at their Accelerate conference November 7th through the 9th, which we will be attending and exhibiting. So we are very, very excited. I did want to share that with you guys. It's because of you guys that we're able to do stuff like this and to be recognized like this.
Absolutely.
So
Doing big things. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, that's so exciting. So today, like I said, we are joined by Miss Kendra, speaking of women in trucking.
Yes.
So we will get out of the way, and Dylan is going to do a informal interview with her. Any questions you want for her, anything you want to know, send it in.
Not anything.
Send it in. She will answer your questions. Here you go.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for hopping on and being a part of the show. We do really appreciate you coming on, Kendra. I know that everybody was pretty excited to have you on. You'd been one of the top requested people to come on and be a part of the show. So
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. So welcome in to the show. Let me kind of adjust this so we can get a better view. And so we did actually have a question. I'm not even going to start it off because Brian Winsauer, as soon as we started the show, already had a question for you. So he said, Miss Kendra, after being the one that welcomes our new drivers into orientation, have you developed a sixth sense at this point on who you believe will make it long term in the BCP culture? And have you ever just approached an orientee and cautioned that we just might not be the right place for them?
The answer to that is absolutely. In fact, a funny story that I have is during an actual orientation class, I pulled a driver into Etchison's office, and I was like, yeah, I just don't think this is going to be the right fit for you. He promised that he would go in there, he would be on his best behavior, he would not say anything else. So surprisingly, he actually stayed with us longer than I thought. But I just think I'm a good judge of character. So I just feel like, yeah, I totally can tell when somebody's just trying us out, like, hey, you're just kind of a stepping stone, versus the people that are here that are looking at us. I'm looking for something I want to belong to. I like what I'm having, what you're telling me about this company. Yeah, absolutely, I can tell.
Cool. Yeah, well, that definitely answers that. What was, if you don't mind me asking, this specific thing that made you pull him into Etchison's office, or is that too far? I
No,
probably
I
shouldn't
mean, he
ask.
just kept having like little comments about, "Psh, I ain't doing that. Psh, yeah, whatever. I mean, just constant negativity about, yeah, So I mean, after about an hour of that, I was like, all right, dude, you got to go. Can't take it. Gonna choke you in front of people. There'll be
All right.
witnesses.
Well, hopefully we don't actually choke anybody. That would be a huge liability for BCB Transport, among other things. So let's try and not do that. We've already had a lot of press recently about people dying. So, Kendra, you've been around here for quite a while, being married to Rick, obviously. You've seen the company go from nothing to what it is today. What have been some of the coolest things to you, or the most impressive things in seeing it blossom and grow over the years?
Well, it's definitely just Rick's mind. I don't know. There's a movie called A Beautiful Mind. It's got Russell Crowe in it. If you've never seen it, it's a great movie. But through the movie, he is like trying to break these codes. So he constantly has pictures and posters. Like his entire room is just full of charts and newspaper. And that's Rick. Like his brain never stops. Like I remember like where our goal was if we got 20 trucks. Well, we got the 20. And it's like, what if we could get 100 trucks? We got the 100. What if we could get 150? So Rick is definitely one that not only constantly pushes himself, but if you've ever worked with him or talked to him, he pushes everybody. You're never going to reach a point where it's enough. I mean, once you obtain a goal, there's always more. And I think that that's probably been why we are so successful, why we have made it through so many obstacles, is because he just doesn't give up. And he just constantly, and it not only, I mean, he doesn't just push other people, but if you're here at 4 o'clock in the morning, he's here. So him and Brian both, they have put their hearts into this 7 days a week, numerous hours within a week, both of them just pushing for this company to be successful.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. So Tommy Jones actually has a question for us
Hey,
today.
TJ.
Tommy, what you got for us? You should be able to unmute your mic there for you.
Can y'all hear me?
Hey, TJ.
Hi, Miss Kendra. How you doing this morning?
Good. I'm alive.
I hear you.
Always a good
Hey,
day.
it's not necessarily a question. I just want to tell you guys thank you for the biggest thing I see out of all of you guys is that the welcoming heart and the love and the kindness that y'all showed every driver that comes into the office. And it's not just the drivers, it's their family too. And, and that speaks volume to a lot of people. And, some people, it's for some people, and sometimes it's not for some people. And the first and foremost thing that I see is that y'all put God first in everything y'all do. And, and that's what's got me hooked to stay here, because I know you guys seek the same thing that I do. And I hope that it does the same for drivers too that come in the future and have that safety mentality, because there's a lot of companies out here that don't have that. And, and most companies are just numbers. You're just a number. And you guys try to make a point that y'all know the drivers by name. Y'all greet them with kindness. And I really just want to tell you guys I appreciate everything y'all do and the support y'all give us.
Thank you, TJ. Love you.
Love you too.
All right, and we got Lonnie Payne on the line as well. What you got for us, Lonnie?
Hey, Lonnie.
Hey, Miss Kendra, how are you?
Good.
I just wanted to tell you that I love you and I thank you so much for always being there for us and, for when the times get hard, for always instilling in us that we are truly family and for, just always being there. Just, even when times are not so good, it's good to know that y'all are always there. And I just wanted to say thank you to you and Rick and Brian, for always just surrounding us with the right people and just keeping the faith and family around us, even in the challenging times, and reminding us what's truly important here. And, we can't get that anywhere else. And I just wanted to say thank you and tell you I love you and appreciate all y'all do for us.
Thank you, Lonnie. We appreciate you. I will say, I tell drivers all the time when they come through orientation, I always tell them we're not perfect, but you're not going to find a company that doesn't care more than we do. And we make mistakes. In fact, sometimes it seems like, well, y'all keep doing it every week. Obviously, you don't care. And it's not true. That's never true here. I mean, everybody, I will say, gives it their all. And, we do the best we can, but definitely not perfect. So appreciate y'all always sticking with us too, through the good and the bad times.
Well, we also have a couple more questions here. And before we get to some more of the callers, Justin Hayes wants to know he actually has a couple questions here, but how has COVID affected your role in the company?
Well, COVID actually, for most of you know, that Sandy and I kind of switched places. Once COVID happened, Sandy, we weren't doing lunch anymore, so then we needed to find a spot for Sandy, and she's just so loving. Like, Sandy loves people, and it's not like she has to work at it. You know how some people, it's hard for them to know how to talk to people or hug you or be concerned. That comes very easy for Sandy. So it was a great spot to put her back there in orientation with me. Rick and I, our kids we have just one left at home. So I wanted to be able to travel a little bit more. So, so Sandy and I mean, we kind of tag team back there with orientation. She is taking on the class. Obviously, I'm not cooking. Thank God for that. But I am doing the gopher. I'm running to Sam's. I'm ordering things. I'm more your greeter now while Sandy's doing class. So there we go.
All right, and then if you could give us a bit of inside information, again, second part of Justin's question here is why did Rick and Brian move their office to a different location as opposed to the one here in Mansfield?
Well, Rick hasn't had an office here. I don't know that drivers know that, but Rick has been taking his laptop and just trying to find a quiet spot anywhere in the building. So it's plug, unplug. He might set up in the conference room, and then here comes people, they need the conference room. So now here's Rick trying to, talk to people on the phone, and he's trying to find a spot somewhere in the office. Same with Mr. Brzezowski. As we were hiring other people, where are we going to put Brian? So Rick hasn't had an office here in years. And then once we have two more ladies in HR. We hired another safety person. We hired, Crystal kind of does HR and equipment. So to make room for the other people, Rick and Brian actually had to go find some more space just so that they can actually be on the phone and have internet access.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much. And we also got Jeff Marsh and then Cowboy Leroy here on the line as well. So what you guys?
Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, Miss Kendra. I love you.
Love you.
I got a question, but I don't want to seem too personal. But how did you and Mr. Larkin meet? I mean, because y'all seem like from knowing y'all for these many years, y'all seem like from two different worlds and everything. I was just curious.
Well, the honest truth is Rick and I actually met in church. We lived in the Panama Canal, the country of Panama, and we lived on an Army base together. I walked into church one Sunday and he fell in love, of course. And anyways, yeah, that's how we met. I'll tell you a little bit of a little Oprah moment here. Do I have time, Dylan? All right. So, for those of you that don't know, back in the day, you could not call long distance. I mean, it cost money. Your parents didn't have it. You never called, especially a boyfriend long distance, especially to another country. So, when my family moved from the Panama Canal back to the States, we moved back to Alabama. And we wrote letters back and forth. And then he finally wrote a letter saying he had a new girlfriend. So me and my best friend, we dug this little pit in the backyard. I burned everything, every picture, every gum wrapper, every note, everything to do with Rick Larkin burned in the fire, forever gone. So life goes on, and about 10 years go by, and my phone rings one day on a Saturday, I'll never forget, and it's him, and he's like, hey, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually live in Texas now. I live by the Ranger Stadium. So I'm telling him all about Arlington, Texas, and I was teaching at the time, and he's like, hey, I live off of 360, and I'm like, what? Oh my gosh. I mean, just like, how in the world are we both in Arlington, Texas? So 10 years later, we reunited, and it's just been, I think we were just destined to be together. I think Rick and I always play each other out. We can do good cop, bad cop. I'm always stressed out. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of that, and Rick is the very calming. He is always the calm in the storm. So I'm the storm, he's the calm. So together, we make a perfect couple.
So I like the part here, and I'm just gonna quote you. He fell in love. He walked into church, and I guess he fell in love.
Well, I just walked in the door, and he was like, "Hey, that's going to be my future wife there." So.
Right. Well, we also have.
Actually, that's not true. I think I definitely, but I'm very aggressive. Imagine that. I have no problem with saying how I feel or talking. So I think I was just like, hey, you know what? You're going to date me. So I don't think I really gave him a choice. So, I was just kind of like, you're my boyfriend.
All right. That's threatening. So we also had a couple things here. So Leroy, what you got for us? I see you've been raising your hand for a little while there.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Can y'all hear me?
Hey, cowboy.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, that sounds like me and my wife's story.
Yeah, the Oprah, Written in the Stars, Soulmates.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say from day one, y'all treated me like family, and y'all doing a great job on the new hires. Every time I walk in, y'all busy with them. So I just want to give Cowboy up on all that. Y'all doing a great job.
Love
y'all.
Cowboy. Love ya.
All right.
It's a big honor getting a Cowboy up on the new hires. That's something you really got to work towards. So I'm impressed. We also had Brian Winsauer with a follow-up question. How often should we be bringing our permit books in for review, and to whom should we have them reviewed by?
Anytime. Anytime you come into the office, just bring your permit book. It's just kind of like part of your body. Just bring it in the building. Come see Sandy or myself and let us look through it. I'll tell you the biggest thing that Sandy and I find is drivers always have what they need. It's just you tend to keep the past 10 years worth of what you need. So when Sandy and I go through a permit book, there's probably 70 pages in your permit book, because I think it's just kind of like, well, I don't know if I should throw it away. Yes, you should absolutely. If it says 2019, get it out of there. So please, anytime. And I think it's just more so drivers don't know, like, what do I need? I don't know where it goes. They told me to grab something. I grabbed it. I stuck it in my book. It's in there. So most of the time you always have the papers you need. They're just not in the order, or you haven't thrown it out. So every time you come through the terminal, please bring that permit book in, give it to Sandy or myself, and we will get it all together.
All right. Well, thanks so much for hopping on today. Sean Irby just also wants to
Hi,
say
Sean.
thank you for pushing all of us to do better in everything you do. So, quick little thank you from Sean. But Kendra, thanks for hopping on and being a part of the show today. Do you have anything else you'd like to leave everybody with today?
Just love all of you. I tell people that aren't even in this industry when we talk to people at church or at the schools, and I just tell them, drivers as a whole, like when you, and I know that it's not politically correct to like classify an entire group of people, but I will say as a group of people, you're the most patient, the most loving, the most generous, the kindest people. So every week, I always go, oh, we had the nicest people in orientation. You know, they were so nice and sweet. And Rick says, you say that every week. And I go, but they are. I mean, they really and truly are. So you're very selfless people. And, you know, just coming in the office, you're so loving. And I love being on Facebook and seeing you just, you know, your families and what you're doing outside of driving the truck all the time. But I just think as a group of people, you're just kind of laid back. It's like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? So I wish I could be more like that. I happen to be a kind of person, but yeah, I just genuinely love you all.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Kendra. Again, we appreciate you being on. We hope to see you again soon. And thank each and every one of you guys for hopping on and being a part of BCB Transport Live. We'll see you this Thursday at the same time, 8:15. Everybody have a good day. Thanks.
Bye.